Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The ceremony will begin in 2 minutes. Please take this time to turn off or silence all electronic devices. Good morning. My name is Captain Gregory Miller, Assistant Professor of Military Science. On behalf of the cadre and cadets of the Florida Southern College Army ROTC Moccasin Battalion, welcome to the commissioning ceremony for the class of 2024. The host for today's ceremony is the Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel John Denny. We would like to welcome our distinguished guests, Major General Retired Jake Palumbo, Colonel Retired Edward Powell, the President of Florida Southern College, Dr. Ann Kerr, the VP for Finance and Administration, Mr. Terry Dennis, the VP of Enrollment Management, Mr. John Grundig, the Dean of the School of Nursing and Health Sciences, Dr. Laylee Joseph, the Dean of Barney Barnett School of Business and Free Enterprise, Dr. Michael Weber, Command Sergeant Major Retired Mike Collis, and Chief Master Sergeant Tanya Oldham. Please rise for the singing of the National Anthem by Elena Brausch and remain standing for the invocation given by Second Lieutenant Bonner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Will you join me in prayer? God, thank you for bringing us all together today to honor the hard work and dedication that these cadets have shown during their time here at Florida Southern College Army ROTC. They have simultaneously completed their college education, with many of them at the top of their class, while also completing all the requirements to become an officer in the United States Army. We thank you for providing them the strength and endurance they have needed to get to this day. Thank you for all those that have mentored them and supported them while they've undertaken this challenge of becoming an Army officer. May our time here today be filled with joy and gratitude. In your name we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. Again, welcome to Florida Southern College's Army ROTC Spring 2024 commissioning ceremony. Please feel free to come forward at any time during the ceremony to take photographs. We just ask that you don't interfere with the personnel involved in the execution of the ceremony. Please welcome the host of today's ceremony, the Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel John Denny.
So first I want to welcome all our distinguished guests, our family, our friends, the cadre, the staff, and the faculty here at Florida Southern College. There's an amazing amount of talent in this auditorium right now. But what I really want to do is highlight some of the exceptional achievements of this cohort of young, amazing men and women that have decided to serve our nation. There are 39 programs like ours from Louisiana to Georgia, Florida, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands in my higher headquarters in our brigade. Their performance last year was assessed on their academic performance here at their school, their leadership performance here in our program, and then also their performance at Cadet Summer Training last year at Fort Knox with the other roughly 6,000 cadets in the nation. You'll see in a moment that we have 4 distinguished military graduates, placing them in the top 20% of that 6,000. We also have one that's recognized as being the top 10%, and that's based on their individual achievement. Also, what you have before you is the number 6 performing class out of all host programs in that footprint, and that's every major Division I school, that's every other conference school, that is probably 90% of every higher education institute in that geographic area that I highlighted for you. That's an exceptional achievement by these young men and women. For programs of our size, which is a moderate size, we're not the smallest and we're definitely not the biggest, they're number 1. So nobody compares to this small group within that entire southeast area. It's a giant achievement. Also for our program, we've got several seniors that participated in our Ranger Challenge team, which is, in very simple terms, our varsity athletics. So they continue to place in the top 10 of all those programs, both at the qualifier and in the finals. So when I say there's a lot of talent in this room, I mean it. It's not just these seniors, but it's those that are in this auditorium today that have supported them in their efforts to get where they are today, which is a massive achievement on their part. So what I want to do is share with everybody, and I know it's going to be to the amazement of some of my academic colleagues in here, that I'm going to read a poem. So I continue to astound a few of my colleagues here that I do read, but you know, as with many things that we read, the meanings of what we read can change. So I want to share with you a quick poem that I read on the stage very similar to this 20 years ago that had a distinct meaning for me. And it was in appreciation of those that sat in the audience. So if you'll indulge me and you will bear with my South Georgia accent, I will try and do this a little bit of justice. And yes, I need to use glasses, not because I need help seeing, but I need the IQ boost that comes with it so I look more intelligent. An old man going a lone highway came at the evening cold and gray to a chasm vast and deep and wide, through which was flowing a sullen tide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim. The sullen stream had no fear for him, but he turned when safe on the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. Old man, said a fellow pilgrim near, you're wasting your strength with building here. Your journey will end with the ending day. You never will again pass this way. You've crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build this bridge at eventide? The builder lifted his old gray head. Good friend, in the path I have come, he said, there followed after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. The chasm that has been as naught to me, to that fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. He too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friend, I'm building this bridge for him. So at the time, 20 years ago, that I read that, and it meant something to me as appreciation for those that had supported me. I'll take my IQs off. Throughout my career, it changed in meaning. It meant that my job was not to build a bridge for me. It was to help those around me succeed. I am extremely confident, as I am at the end of that journey now, that those that come behind me, that are sitting in the front rows over here, are exceptionally talented, prepared, and dedicated for a life of service. And I know that all of you in the audience here today are a large contributing factor of that success that they're enjoying today. Now, I don't mean to take anything from you, because it's largely on your own achievements that's got you here today. And I want to annotate that. And before the ceremony, I gave him a little pep talk. But I charge you now, and you will feel it as soon as you assume the leadership mantle, that your job is to enable success in your organization, your success in your soldiers in the service of this nation, and in protection of all of our citizens and what we hold dear. So I don't know if that resonated well. If I had a speechwriter, they would be aggravated with me because I very, very rarely read directly from what I've written. So I assure you, if it failed today, it was not my lack of preparation, it was my lack of sticking to the plan. So with my short remarks complete, I do want to introduce today's guest speaker, Major General H.D. Palumbo, a 34-year career officer who has continued his service and is active in our community, has been an F-16 pilot, has flown thousands of hours and all of that. And sir, correct me if I'm wrong, you're the first general officer to fly the U-2 Dragon Lady in combat. So if you don't know what a U-2 is, it's super cool. Might as well be an astronaut. So I've had the pleasure of doing several joint works with General Palumbo, one of them being sitting on Congressman Franklin's Academy nomination board, where his experience and his keen ability to select talent to lead the military services, all branches, it continues to astound me. He's also involved in the community in many different works, including fledgling coffee businesses like Ace Bean Coffee, the American Coffee Experience. So we've asked him to join us here today to share some of his words of encouragement, but really to speak to you all about service, about leadership, and about what journey you're embarking on. So, sir, if you'd kindly grace us. It's not mandatory that you applaud.
Well, good morning, everybody. I just got a coin, which means if I drop it, everybody has to find one of your own, but let me put it in my pocket and secure my coin. Good morning, and welcome to the commissioning ceremony here at Florida Southern College. And it's really easy to get accustomed to talking at this podium because I can't see any of you, and it's always a little unnerving, but as my eyes accommodate, I'll mostly focus this way as I'm talking because I know where the cadets and the future lieutenants are, and I'll keep track of them. But to the parents and friends and professors and everybody in the auditorium, thanks for being here. There's a few friends of mine that are out there that I've known for years now. I don't know if Dr. Kerr is here, and welcome and wonderful to have you here, and the cadets are honored, I'm sure, to have you as the president of Florida Southern College. And what a fantastic tenure you've had, ma'am, as the president of this wonderful college. I salute you. I truly do. In your tenure as the president of Florida Southern, you've made remarkable changes, things that have really put the legacy for the college on a footing for decades to come. And so, Ann, wonderful to see you. I really appreciate that. If your provost is here, I think I would congratulate you for the curriculum that you put together for these young men and women to really struggle through, to work their way through, and to learn, because our officers in the United States military need a rigorous education before they pin on those lieutenant bars, because they have to be intelligent people of the world. And the provost, I know Dr. Tedder did that for us, and really all the students here benefit from it. And then Mr. Dennis, I think I see you in the background. I think I see you. Well done keeping the college on financial footing and truly doing the remarkable things that make this campus so beautiful. Dr. Weber, my friend Michael, good to see you out there now that my eyes accommodate, and I know I have a few other of the professors and people here that I truly admire and enjoy coming over and having a cup of coffee with, right, Jeswell? Colonel Denny, my friend Colonel Denny. JD and I are friends. We are colleagues, friends. We are members of the profession of arms together. And I truly do admire his tenacity. I admire his intellect. And I admire what he's done for these young men and women in the classes before them and the cadets who are rising now, rising juniors and rising seniors. They are absolutely fortunate to have you as their professor of studies here. And you and I have gone through some sessions with Congressman Franklin's board for selecting all of the Service Academy nominees and candidates for appointment. And if he says I'm helpful on the board, I will tell you he's more helpful, because he deals with these young men and women every day, and it truly is the right way to find the best to go in the military. Again, I want to welcome everybody to the ceremony. I am notorious for not staying on script, and I don't have a speechwriter, so it's me. But I will tell you, I've done many, many of these, and I know when I'm sitting out there or when I'm up here, I know I should be brief, and I'm going to be brief today, I promise you. I do have some words for you all, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time focused over in this direction. But I've done a lot of these ceremonies. I've done promotion ceremonies. I've done retirement ceremonies. I've done changes of command, my own and for my subordinates. I've done in-combat location award ceremonies. I've done different things. I've done ramp ceremonies for our fallen. So I know that these matter. But I'm here to tell you this one might matter the most. This one. Because if we are the best military in the world, which we are today, the only way we remain the best military in the world tomorrow is these young men and women. There's no other way to do it. You can't ride on your success in the military. The military, if it prepares to win yesterday's battle, it loses tomorrow's battle. It does. And these are the young men and women that figure it out. They figure it out because their professors made them tough, made them work, and they made them do the things that matter. So this is an important ceremony, and I want you to understand that. We are commissioning our new military leaders today in the United States Army, and that's a big deal. And it really is important to understand that they're taking an oath today. It's on the board right there, but I have it memorized. I remember when I took my oath in 1981. Yes, I am very old, and yes, I am very different. I am wearing a blue uniform, and they all wear the Army uniform, but that doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I have commissioned Army lieutenants all over the world. I've commissioned Navy ensigns all over the world. I've done this for all our services. I have extreme admiration for the other services because of what these young people are about to do. So I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same. I take this obligation freely without mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter, so help me God. The Constitution of the United States, not the Congress, not any other things in the state of Florida, not anything else. The Constitution of the United States. As Americans, we should be so proud of our Constitution and what it says, and our Bill of Rights, and the things that we hold dear. And these young men and women swear to uphold that. That is their job. Nothing else, nobody else, no people, no me, no generals, no admirals. It's the Constitution. And that's why it's so neat to be here today, because I'm going to emphasize that, and to Jeswell, who I'm going to administer it to, I'm going to make sure he gets it correct. And all of them need to get it correct. To the parents and the friends of these young men and women, boy, do you need to be proud. Let me say it differently. You should be very proud of your son or daughter, or your friend, your brother or sister. You should be very proud. This is a distinctive group of young men and women in the United States of America. Not everybody serves in the military, and that's fine. Service is the key, and you can serve without uniform. But these young men and women are going to take an oath to the Constitution, and they're going to put their life in harm's way if necessary to secure our freedoms and secure them for decades to come. So be proud of them and help keep them on their path. They're going to have some ups and downs in the next few years. I can almost guarantee it. No matter how good they think they are or you think they are, they're going to need some help. So help them as they work their way through it. As Colonel Denny said, this is a distinguished ROTC unit in America. Not just because of what you've done today in your 4 years, but because it's a sustained level of performance that always has been this way. In my years of coming back to Florida Southern College and going and attending some of these just in the audience, this is a good one. So you are the Moccasin Battalion. You all have gotten through a tough course with a tough group of leaders and leadership here, and that's important, and you need to make sure that you think about that legacy, and as you go forward as lieutenants now, how this program has prepared you for success, but also what's next and why it's next and what you have to do. So on your leadership journey, it's only beginning. You've done a little. You've got to do a lot more. And it's going to take some ups and downs. You're going to stumble. I've heard the phrase fail fast. Not a fan of it. But when you do screw it up, get on with it. Get over it. Don't dwell on it. You're going to make mistakes as lieutenants. I sure as heck did. But when you figure it out, get yourself up, dust yourself off, and then move out and draw fire. It's nothing that you can do to look back and dwell on mistakes, because we lose battles when people turn around and feel regret. You've got to drive forward even if you make a mistake or stumble. You also need to expect that it's going to be difficult. You don't have all the training you need. You don't have all the skills you're going to require. You're going to need to learn more, learn quickly, and apply it in a way that sometimes is very wingman-oriented. You're a subordinate. Even though you're one of the few officers in the Army, you're going to be the junior officer in the Army. And it's going to be difficult. So you've got to learn. You've got to really be prepared to bring in a lot of new information, process it quickly, and react on it. And you've got to be prepared to make decisions, but sometimes those decisions need to be informed by senior NCOs, non-commissioned officers, who are prepared to help you, but they're also prepared to let you stumble, because they know you don't look to their mentoring and their guidance that they have for 10, 15, 20 years of service in the United States Army. You might make the same mistake many other lieutenants did. But if you listen to your NCOs, you likely are going to avoid some of the mistakes that you would have otherwise made. And let me tell you one other thing, and I've commanded all over the world. I've commanded in many countries around the world at various levels. When you need to seek your commander's guidance, do it. Don't struggle with it. Your commander is there for a reason. He or she is there to make sure the mission gets done. Not that you get credit for it or he or she gets credit for it, that the team succeeds. So when you need your commander's guidance, seek it. If you already know it, do it. We don't have everybody just waiting to be told what to do in the United States Army. You must make decisions on your own, and it's important that you think your way through it. But your commander has a vested reason, a vested interest in helping you succeed as a platoon leader. There are soldiers that are looking up to you, and there's a mission that needs to be done, and you all are going to be the ones to do it. I'm just about done. Let me finish with a couple of final thoughts and make sure that you understand. These people on this side of the room that you've been with for 4 years, your subordinates, Dr. Kerr, Dr. Tedder, Dean Weber, these men and women, including your parents and your friends, including me, want you to succeed. We want you to succeed more than you might realize, because as a nation, we need you there. You need to stand the watch. You've got to stand the watch. I'm not going to do it anymore. So you're going to do it. And we need you to succeed. And we're going to give you, if you ask, some thoughts, maybe a little more advice, maybe just a suggestion or two. But for the most part, it's your journey that you're on. You've got to do the work, and you've got to get better as a leader. And your teammates, your soldiers that work with you, but your soldiers that work for you, they need you to do the right thing. And so it's important that you really think about who's going to make you successful as an Army officer. You are. Not me, not Colonel Denny, not anybody else, not the Master Sergeant, not anybody else. You're going to have to do it, and it's going to be a tough journey because you're not quite there yet. So it's really up to you. And I will finish with this thought. I wear a blue uniform. I'm in the United States Air Force. I served for decades. I needed the United States Army to do things to save me, to keep me safe in the missions that I was doing, and vice versa. And the United States Marines need you all to do your job. So it's a joint force. We win wars in the United States of America because we have the best military, not the best Army, not the best Air Force. We have the best military in the world. We have the best leaders, non-commissioned officers, but we work together, and when we fight pretty damn well. And it comes down to you doing your job and taking care of your shipmates and taking care of the Marines that are with you, or taking care of your airmen that are your wingmen. It matters how you take care of each other, even though we have a different uniform on. So this is a fun ceremony for me. Like I said, it's probably the most important ceremony that I do, is anything to do with young people signing up and serving their country. I'm honored to be asked. I appreciate the invitation. I appreciate being back on Florida Southern campus with you, Dr. Kerr. And it's really something that I admire, not only what the parents have done to make these young people so successful, but more importantly, what you all have accomplished here after these 4 years at Florida Southern. It's really neat to be back. Thank you. Let's get on with the ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now commission our cadets. Again, please feel free to come forward and take pictures, and please hold all applause until the end of the first salute for each cadet. The Florida Southern College Army ROTC Department proudly presents the following cadets for commissioning as an officer in the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. Cadet Anna Abel. Cadet Abel earned a Bachelor's of Science in Applied Mathematics and Statistics with a concentration in Data Analytics from Florida Southern College. She was selected to serve in the Active Duty Branch Medical Service Corps and will attend the Basic Officer Leadership course at Fort Sam Houston, Texas. Cadet Abel is a distinguished military graduate, placing her in the top 10% of all cadets across the nation. At this time, we would like to invite her family to place on her rank. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Cadet Anna Abel. In view of these qualities and her demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, she is therefore commissioned in the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. Lieutenant Commander Retired David Abel will administer the oath of office. Following the Army tradition, each new second lieutenant will present a silver dollar to the first non-commissioned officer that salutes them. Saluting Lieutenant Abel is Sergeant First Class Richard Knopf. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Anna Abel. Cadet Shannon Allen. Cadet Shannon Allen earned a Bachelor's of Science in Criminology from Florida Southern College. She was selected to serve in the active duty branch military intelligence with a detail in the infantry and will attend Basic Officer Leadership course at Fort Moore, Georgia. Cadet Allen is a distinguished military graduate, placing her in the top 20% of all cadets across the nation. At this time, we would like to invite her family to place on her rank. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Cadet Shannon Allen. In view of these qualities and her demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, she is therefore commissioned in the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. First Lieutenant Bethany Beachy will administer the oath of office.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States, as indicated above, in the grade of Second Lieutenant, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States, against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose and evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office in which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Following the Army tradition, each new second lieutenant will present a silver dollar to the first non-commissioned officer who salutes them. Saluting Lieutenant Allen is Specialist Daniel Allen. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Shannon Allen. Cadet Bryson Andrade. Cadet Andrade earned a Bachelor's of Science in Accounting from Florida Southern College. He He was selected to serve in the active duty Branch Quartermaster Corps and will attend the Basic Officer Leadership course at Fort Greg Adams, Virginia. At this time, we'd like to invite his family to place on his rank. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Cadet Bryson Andrade. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore commissioned in the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. Major Gerald Augustin will administer the oath of office. Following the Army tradition, each new second lieutenant will present a silver dollar to the first non-commissioned officer that salutes them. Saluting Lieutenant Andrade is Specialist Michael Thornton. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Bryson Andrade. Cadet Jesuel Caraballo. Cadet Caraballo earned a Bachelor's of Science in Finance from Florida Southern College. He was selected to serve in the active duty Branch Finance Corps and will attend the Basic Officer Leadership course at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. At this time, we would like to invite his family to place on his rank. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Cadet Jesuel Caraballo. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore commissioned in the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. Major General Palumbo will administer the oath of office.
You ready, bud? Yes, sir. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Jesuel Caraballo,
Having been appointed Second Lieutenant of the United States Army,
having been appointed a Second Lieutenant in the United States Army,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
I bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and take this obligation freely
and take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
I will and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties of the office about which I'm about to enter. So help me God.
Following the Army tradition, each new second lieutenant will present a silver dollar to the first non-commissioned officer that salutes them. Saluting Lieutenant Caraballo is Petty Officer Second Class Emmanuel Caraballo. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Miguel Caraballo. Cadet Matthew Crescenzo. Cadet Crescenzo earned a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration from Florida Southern College. He was selected to serve in the Army Reserve, Branch Engineer Corps, and will attend the Basic Officer Leadership course at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. At this time, we'd like to invite his family to place on his rank. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Cadet Matthew Crescenzo. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore commissioned in the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. Major Timothy Brown will administer the oath of office.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. I, Matthew Crescenzo, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Following the Army tradition, each new second lieutenant will present a silver dollar to the first non-commissioned officer that salutes them. Saluting Lieutenant Crescenzo is Staff Sergeant Ashley Atwood. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Matthew Crescenzo. Cadet Matthew Durham. Cadet Durham earned a Bachelor's of Science in Communications from Florida Southern College. He was selected to serve in the Active Duty Branch Ordnance Corps and will attend Basic Officer Leadership course at Fort Gregg Adams, Virginia. At this time, we'd like to invite his family to place on his rank. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Cadet Matthew Durham. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore commissioned in the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. Lieutenant Colonel John Denny will administer the oath of office. Following the Army tradition, each new second lieutenant presents a silver dollar to the first non-commissioned officer that salutes them. Saluting Lieutenant Durham is Master Sergeant Kenneth Orasek. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Matthew Durham. Cadet Michael Hickey. Cadet Hickey earned a Bachelor's of Science in Biochemistry and Molecular Biology from Florida Southern College. He was awarded an education delay and will be studying osteopathic medicine at Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine in Bradenton, Florida. At this time, we would like to invite his family to place on his rank. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Cadet Michael Hickey. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore commissioned into the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. Major Hickey will administer the oath of office.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Michael Christopher Hickey,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and I will well
that I will well
and faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
of the office on which I am about to enter.
on the office in which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Following the Army tradition, each new second lieutenant will present a silver dollar to the first non-commissioned officer that salutes them. Saluting Lieutenant Hickey is Master Sergeant Kenneth Orasek. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Michael Hickey. Cadet Brooke McGreevy. Cadet McGreevy earned a Bachelor's of Science in Exercise Science from Florida Southern College. She was awarded an education delay and will attend the Doctor of Physical Therapy program at the University of St. Augustine in St. Augustine, Florida. At this time, we would like to invite her family to place on her rank. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Cadet Brooke McGreevy. In view of these qualities and her demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, she is therefore commissioned in the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. First Lieutenant Bethany Beachy will administer the oath of office.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States, as indicated above in the grade of Second Lieutenant, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I'm about to enter. So help me God.
Following the Army tradition, each new second lieutenant will present a silver dollar to the first non-commissioned officer that salutes them. Saluting Lieutenant McGreevy is Command Sergeant Major retired Mike Collis. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Brooke McGreevy. Cadet Dante Mendez. Cadet Mendez earned a Bachelor's of Science in Communications from Florida Southern College. He was selected to serve in the active duty branch infantry and will attend the Basic Officer Leadership course at Fort Moore, Georgia. Cadet Mendez is a distinguished military graduate, placing him in the top 20% of all cadets across the nation. At this time, we would like to invite his family to place on his rank. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Cadet Dante Mendez. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore commissioned in the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. Major Charles Organ will administer the oath of office.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Dante Mendez,
Having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States,
have been appointed an officer in the United States
in the rank of Second Lieutenant,
as the rank of Second Lieutenant.
do solemnly swear or affirm
Do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely,
That I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
on which I'm about to enter.
on which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Following the Army tradition, each new second lieutenant will present a silver dollar to the first non-commissioned officer that salutes them. Saluting Lieutenant Mendez is Chief Warrant Officer 3, Sean Carney. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Dante Mendez. Cadet Aaron Miles. Cadet Miles earned a Bachelor's of Science in Business from Florida Southern College. He was selected to serve in the active duty branch Quartermaster Corps and will attend the Basic Officer Leadership course at Fort Gregg Adams, Virginia. At this time, we would like to invite his family to place on his rank. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Cadet Aaron Miles. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore commissioned in the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. Lieutenant Colonel John Denny will administer the oath of office.
I state your name. I, Aaron Miles, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Following the Army tradition, each new second lieutenant will present a silver dollar to the first non-commissioned officer that salutes them. Saluting Lieutenant Miles is Staff Sergeant Retired Rochelle Miles. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Aaron Miles. Cadet Joseph Powell. Cadet Powell earned a Bachelor's of Science in History. He was selected to serve in the active duty Branch Adjutant General with a detail in the Armor Branch, and will attend the Basic Officer Leadership course at Fort Moore, Virginia. At this time, we would like to invite his family to place on his rank. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Cadet Joseph Powell. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore commissioned in the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. Colonel Retired Edward Powell will administer the oath of office.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And I take this obligation freely without any mental reservations or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Following the Army tradition, each new second lieutenant will present a silver dollar to the first non-commissioned officer that salutes them. Saluting Lieutenant Powell is Sergeant First Class Tyler Leary. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Joseph Powell. Cadet Lauren Shivler. Cadet Shivler earned a Bachelor's of Science in Biology with a concentration in pre-veterinary. She was selected to serve in the Florida National Guard Branch Signal Corps and will attend the Basic Officer Leadership course at Fort Gordon, Georgia. At this time, we would like to invite her family to place on her rank. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Cadet Lauren Shivler. In view of these qualities and her demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, she is therefore commissioned in the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. First Lieutenant Bethany Beachy will administer the oath of office.
I state your name. I, Lauren Shivler. Having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States. As indicated above in the grade of Second Lieutenant. Do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend. The Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge. help me God.
So help me God.
Following the Army tradition, each new second lieutenant will present a silver dollar to the first non-commissioned officer that salutes them. Saluting Lieutenant Shivler is Sergeant Robert Thompson. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Lauren Shivler. Cadet Haley Steiner. Cadet Steiner earned a Bachelor's of Science in Exercise Science. She was selected to serve in the Army Reserve Branch Transportation Corps and will attend the Basic Officer Leadership course at Fort Gregg Adams, Virginia. At this time, we would like to invite her family to place on her rank. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Cadet Haley Steiner. In view of these qualities and her demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, she is therefore commissioned in the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. Lieutenant Colonel retired James Ramage will administer the oath of office.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Haley Ruth Steiner,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
on which I'm about to enter.
on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Following the Army tradition, each new second lieutenant will present a silver dollar to the first non-commissioned officer that salutes them. Saluting Lieutenant Steiner is Radio Man 3rd Class Leonard Merrill. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Haley Steiner. Cadet Joshua Steiner. Cadet Steiner earned a Bachelor's of Arts in Music. He was selected to serve in the Active Duty Branch Military Intelligence Corps and will attend the Basic Officer Leadership course at Fort Huachuca, Arizona. Cadet Steiner is a distinguished military graduate, placing him in the top 20% of all cadets across the nation. At this time, we would like to invite his family to place on his rank. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Cadet Joshua Steiner. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore commissioned in the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. Lieutenant Colonel retired James Ramage will administer the oath of office.
support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
and that I take this obligation freely
and that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office I'm about to enter.
of the office I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Following the Army tradition, each new second lieutenant will present a silver dollar to the first non-commissioned officer that salutes them. Saluting Lieutenant Steiner is Chief Quartermaster Retired Thomas Steiner. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Joshua Steiner. Cadet Cole Zito. Cadet Zito earned a Bachelor's of Science in Exercise Science from Florida Southern College. He was selected to serve in the National Guard Branch Infantry and will attend the Basic Officer Leadership course at Fort Moore, Georgia. At this time, we would like to invite his family to place on his rank. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Cadet Cole Zito. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is therefore commissioned in the United States Army to the rank of Second Lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Bo Bonner will administer the oath of office.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Following the Army tradition, each new second lieutenant will present a silver dollar to the first non-commissioned officer that salutes them. Saluting Lieutenant Zito is Sergeant Chris Haynes. Ladies and gentlemen, Second Lieutenant Cole Zito. At this time, would all newly commissioned lieutenants return to the center of the stage? We'd also like to invite Major General Palumbo to the center of the stage for the presentation of a token of appreciation. Second Lieutenant Caraballo is now presenting an airplane propeller from the members of the class of 2024.
On behalf of
Ladies and gentlemen, Major General Palumbo and the newest second lieutenants of the United States Army. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the benediction given by Second Lieutenant Bonner, and also remain standing for the playing of the Army song.
Let's pray. Lord, thank you all for this class and their accomplishments during their time as cadets. Now, as United States Army officers, we pray a blessing over their career in the Army. Whether entering into the regular Army, Army Reserves, or National Guard, would you provide them with mentors to show them how to be successful in their discipline? Would you give them opportunities to grow as leaders? Would you surround them with friends and family to be their support system while they face the difficulties that accompany life in the military? Endow them with the confidence and trust in their training as they become the next leaders of our United States Army. Bless us all as we go from here. In your name we pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our commissioning ceremony. Thank you for your attendance. Please join us for a ceremonial cake cutting and refreshments in the Honeyman Pavilion, which is located to the entrance of the auditorium. The colors will remain posted for photo opportunities afterward. Thank you.